Exactly right. It's a practical decision to simplify the case. There's going to be one defendant instead of three, and the case is going to proceed just as it would before, with a trial scheduled for February.
Remind our audience, what was the what was the defamatory action that Trump is alleging against the BBC?
You know, most cases of defamation involve a false statement. This is about false editing or misleading editing. The allegation is that someone at the BBC edited Trump's own words on January 6th and made it suggest he was promoting a riot.
Now, obviously, that sort of false editing goes against all sorts of journalistic ethics. It was incredibly poor from the BBC. At the same time, I imagine that they may argue that Trump's reputation is already widely known. People have made up their minds on him for better or for worse. He is arguably the most famous person on the planet. So how does that play into this?
That's exactly right. The lead-off argument for the BBC is that Trump is essentially libel-proof or defamation-proof, given his stature and notoriety, at least for that event of that day. The other big defense they have is actual malice. Donald Trump has to prove someone at the BBC did this with knowledge that what they were doing would cast Donald Trump in a false light. It's a very high burden in the United States to prove a defamation claim.
And that number, £10 billion, sounds farcical. How do you get to that number?
Yeah, in the U.S., it's up to the jury. There's no real benchmark on how you measure someone's reputation, but someone with as big of a presence as Donald Trump is going to ask for a big number, but I'd be shocked if a jury returned a number like that.
Yeah, I think the BBC budget would be in a bit of trouble if that was the case. I think the UK economy would be in a bit of trouble if that was the case. What is the likelihood of success for Trump?
I give it a very low likelihood for the reasons we've already discussed. And also there's some jurisdictional barriers, and there's some other technical arguments about dragging the BBC into a Florida courtroom. And the reality is most cases don't go to trial. Most cases settle. And so I don't see the BBC writing a big check anytime soon.